the help of sailors in ancient times, bananas spread all over the islands in the Pacific Ocean. And nowadays, it has become the fourth popular agricultural staple in the world. It is interesting that some people believe that the banana was the very paradise fruit, which was the reason of Adam and Eve's temptation. Paris has become the European capital of bananas, and Czechs make beer out of them. Bananas are also very useful for health. All this has become possible thanks to long, hard-working farmers who domesticated wild, small, okra-looking pods into modern-tasting fruit. Watermelon. All are sure that the melon is a berry, but it is really a pepo. Southern Africa is the birthplace of watermelons. Nowadays, you can meet its forebears there, and they are the source of water for local people now as well. The watermelon seed were discovered even in the Tutankhamun tomb. The watermelon traveled to Europe from Asia and Africa during the Crusades. It is difficult to imagine how people ate them back then because at the time there were more seeds than flesh in it. Only after 4 centuries of selection, a watermelon has become domesticated. Peach. Peaches have no particular birthplace. There is a rumor going around that China is that place, but it hasn't been confirmed. Fortunately, we do know its real age. It was grown in Europe in the whopping 1st century already. Unfortunately, the history of this fruit has not been fully studied, but we know for sure that early peaches were as small as cherries. They tasted like lentil and were salty and soft. We're lucky that farmers managed to domesticate them, and we can now enjoy the gorgeous taste of a ripe peach. Friends, genetically modified foods inspire strong reactions nowadays. Some scientists say GMOs will solve the lack of food on our planet. Others think it is harmful for our health. But think of this fact, that all plants in the agricultural field are already genetically modified. People made them like that after age-lasting selection. As for me, I think selection is the evolution controlled by man. Again, Bubble here. Subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our new interesting videos. See you later. Let's eat, Grandma. While you involve splicing genes from other organisms into plants, you practically punctuate this expression. Hopefully, you will make a right decision. Hi there, Bubble here, and now I'll feed you with non-GMO fruits and vegetables. Help yourself. Corn. Perhaps the most sold food at the seaside is corn. Of course, ice cream and seafood will be first. And it's natural because maize is one of the most popular agricultural staple. It is considered to be one of the most ancient grain plants. Their cobs were not so big, sweet, and easy to cook as they are now. Recently, in the 17th century, you may not pay any attention to this plant while passing it. Just at that time, the story of corn began in Europe. It was called teosinte at that time, and it was dry like a raw potato. Some centuries of selection have created this wild grass into one of the most spread and well-known agricultural staples in the modern world. Carrot. Carrots have been cultivated for 4,000 years. Nowadays, carrots are thought of to be a tasty, juicy vegetable, but at first it was grown for the sake of its fragrant leaves and seeds, which were used in spices. And it is understandable because carrots had thin forked roots with a strong flavor. In some time, breeders domesticated this wild plant into sweet orange veggies. Carrots are used in plenty of dishes. So we're to be grateful to hard-working farmers for having a domesticated carrot instead of bitter root-like structures. Eggplant. Wild eggplant grew in southern Asia, where nowadays you can meet its early ancestors. The Arabs made a great contribution into its spreading all over the world. Europeans started growing eggplants only in the 19th century. When being fully ripe, the eggplant becomes hard and bitter, and that was the reason it was considered very poisonous in its prehistory. Powder grinded from ripe eggplants was added to enemies' wine and food in hopes to kill them. Despite this funny story, While looking at this prehistoric round yellow eggplant's ancestor, you could believe in this myth. It is interesting to know that eggplants are actually berries. Banana. Bananas are one of the earliest cultivated flowering plants. It has become the most important export staple food for some tropical countries.